To be or not to be, that's the question. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Put your hearts up and your hands out. Feel the vibes of the earth coming out. Get your feet out in the dirt between your toes. Get the stinky stinks moving up inside your nose. Put your hearts up and your hands out. Listen, Mother Nature's coming out. She's out, she's out, she's out, she's out. She's out, she's out, she's out. Get your brains out of their rudimentary traction. Seek a bit of better upper mental satisfaction. Get your brains out of their rudimentary traction. Just a bit of better upper mental satisfaction. To be or not to be, I repeat the question. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. With your hearts up and your hands out. Now can you feel the power coming out? Feel the vibes up and spread them around. Here are the beats and grooves that make you shake your ass around. Put your hearts up and your hands out. She ain't your baby if she's starting to pout. She ain't if she likes to pout. She ain't if she likes to pout. She ain't your baby if she likes to pout. If she likes to pout. She ain't your baby if she likes to pout. To be or not to be, that's the question. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. To be or not to be, that's the question. Can you hear the funky groove that I mention? To be or not to be, that's the question. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. To be or not to be, that's the question. Can you hear the funky groove that I mention? To be or not to be, it ought to be a question. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Put your hearts up and your hands out. Feel the vibes of the earth coming out. Get your feet out in the dirt between your toes. Get the stanky stinks moving up inside your nose. Put your hearts up and your hands out. Feel the, feel the, feel the. G'day, you mob! How are we? What's going on? Do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing, people? Sorry, I timed that a little bit wrong. Short song stitched me up. How's it going in your worlds? Warm stuff? Oh, not again. Shaddy's first cab off the rank. Means another bucket of kudos in the post for Paddy. And S, g'day S, displaying his animosity that Paddy beat him in again. That's like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Paddy's clearly hoarding buckets of kudos for use at a later date. 2 Dougs. How's it going, Doug? Both of you Dougs. G'day. Big D. Lee Wilcox. G'day, Cobber. 5 minutes watching Blacky may help him get to sleep. Time will tell, Lee. Time will tell. Patty always quick with the tongue-in-cheek hatred. Or is it? Could be legitimate hatred. Maybe we'll never know. G'day, Joel G. Andre Ellis, how's it going? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Haven't seen Lee about for a bit. T-Bone, g'day, mate. Skull, how's it going? BJ, I've got something funny to show you shortly, BJ. Alyssa Bentley, hi, Alyssa. It's like 5 minutes in and I'm already stumbling over the English language. Yeah, that Discord's a dangerous place to be, isn't it?
So much stuff going on all the time. Like Degenerate Fishkeeper showing us his wonderful wounds the other day in the Degenerate, whatever that Discord's called. Who else have I missed? Zen Ginger! How are you, Zenny? Always a pleasure to have you grace us with your presence and your gifts and your presence. Yeah. I don't know what that means, Big D. A bueno visto. A good something or other. Good scenery. I don't know if I've missed anyone else. It's the same 6 people chatting. Where's everyone else in the chat? Drop us a line. Say good day. Tropico, get to the chopper. Scary Terry, how's it going? That's a bloody bright red fish in your picture. Fuel the belly. Fuel the belly, Tropico. That's what you got to do. Just fuel the belly. Fuel for days. Michael Toes. Mickham, how's it going? Or did my chat jump? Or did a couple of people just fly in then? What's that? 3 versions of Michaels in the house. Let's get as many Michaels in here as possible. Used to be Scots, I think. Scots, we used to get a few Scots. Ah, yes. Yes, the New Guinea ones are quite pretty, aren't they? Definitely compared to the boring Australian ones. Oh, let's not talk about my colon. It was a frightful colon this morning. Definitely more than 2 dots. So, I have absolutely nothing prepared to talk about again. Won't be talking any Bad Batch or Loki until Corvus gets here. I'm really struggling to remember if I even watched Loki this week. Or last week, I should say. It's on tonight, isn't it? My time. Someone tell me in the chat, please, what happens in the first 7 or 9 minutes of this week's episode of Loki. See if it triggers my memories. We couldn't have talked about it yet. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, hang on. Was last week's episode the one with the post credits bit, or was that the week before? I'm so confused. Yes. I've got a human. It was the water collecting episode, was it? Paddy Shaddy. I am. Oh, crikey. Yes, righto. Yes, thank you. Yes, righto. It will slowly return to me, I think. Oh, should have done that on screen. But anyway, let me do a bit of this one for the one, the only The Sponge Princess. It's enough of that rowdy crowd. Kicked him out. Hi, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Seems so long since I've seen you.
It has been a very long time.
Must be all of 94 minutes since you left my house before.
About that.
How many oranges have been eaten already?
Certainly 2 are gone.
Sarah had to come and collect a massive sack full of oranges off my orange tree because it's quite laden with fruit right now.
And my small humans have discovered the joy of abundant oranges.
The joy of what?
Abundant oranges.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of trees next door that are pretty heavy with fruit too that I guess we can probably pilfer from over the next month as well.
Well, I would like to do some dried oranges. If there's
Good idea.
While there's abundance.
Yes. I think my solution to the abundance is going to be massive sackfuls cut up into sixths, and freeze them up so they don't go to waste.
Do you really do them in sixths though? Because
yeah.
Okay.
What were you gonna say? Instead of quarters?
Because I will cut them in half, and then I cut those halves in half, and then I can cut those halves in half again. But I don't usually cut it in half and then cut those into 3.
I just figure that if you go down to g'day Gaffer Haynes, how are you, Gaff? If you go down to 8ths, I think that the segments that you get are a little bit too small. But if you go to 6ths, it's a good size. You know, you can get a couple of them out, and I don't think either of the folks like to have a whole orange at a time, so I think that's a really good way to do it. But yeah, maybe I can do both. I'll do some 6ths and some 8ths, and then, you know, they can select how much orange they want to eat at a time. Oh, Fish Tropic is asking if you're having some wine.
Oh, I'm having espresso martini. Actually, it's really delicious. But yeah, I will grow gradually redder through the course of this as I drink, because that's the way it works in my face.
It is the way it works. And yes, something you will be eager to discover, Fish Tropic, is that Sarah hates wine.
I do.
Nary a drop of wine will pass her lips.
Or
it's
awful like stuff. It's just awful.
It's quite bad, yeah.
I mean, I'm maybe it's not, but I always just get the feeling that people who like wine like it because they're told they should like it. It's like kombucha, right? It doesn't actually taste good. People just because someone else said, oh, it's good. So they say, oh, yeah, it is. Isn't it delicious? It's so nice. But actually it's revolting.
Yeah, it's very, very, very rare that you could say, oh, that's quite tasty. I think the most positive review you could give of wine is it's tolerable, potentially.
I don't find them tolerable. I've gone through like a couple of phases. There's twice I can think of in my life where I've wanted to have red wine. It always goes hand in hand with a certain, like I have a certain craving, and always be like, certain foods, and then I want the wine with them. But it's only been twice in my life, and when I've had it, then I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't know why I thought I wanted to have this. It's so gross. But, you know.
G'day, Lonnie. I'm not sure if I said hi to Lonnie or not. How the devil are you, Lonnie? Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Odd. What else? Well, that's right. You took a drive to Brisbane yesterday.
I did take a drive to Brisbane yesterday. It wasn't as bad as I expected.
The drive itself, or what?
Yeah, like trying to navigate Brisbane traffic and like getting where you're going when you don't. Like I've always lived in the country. I've driven in the country. I'm not familiar, and like when there's like so many roads and they're like all stacked and you've got to be on the right side of the road to turn, and if you're on the wrong bit, like you know that you're going to have to turn left in a minute, but if you're on the left side of the road now, you're gone and you can't go that extra 20 meters till your actual turn off just a minute later. It's very scary. But I managed. There was one mistake on the leaving that had to do a bit of a loop, but it was good. It's fine.
Yeah,
I made it.
That's what I was going to say. Is quite often a wrong turn in Brisbane can set you asunder for a good few minutes as well, because of the way that town's designed.
Well, I was saying to Teo, my son, yesterday, about it, that I remember the first time, like I remember driving in Brisbane, was going to. We were going to go and see the Foo Fighters, and I was still like little, young, early high school, and my friend's mum drove us, and it was before the days of your GPS maps and stuff. So we had the big paper map folded out, and my friend Kristen in the front seat, and we're all trying to. But so we'd come to things and be like, okay, we're going to turn, like right in a minute, and it's like, oh no, that's a one-way street, you can't go down. And my friend's mum was like absolutely losing it.
I remember a time in. Oh, hang on. Let's bring this guy up before I tell my funny story about driving in Brisbane.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do you.
Oh my God!
G'day,
You brought me in so fast. I didn't even have my chat open yet.
Mm-hmm.
I like to make sure you're on your toes.
That's right. You surprised me. What was this story? This sounded like I missed a wonderful story.
Well, my one I was about to start was myself and about 8 of my high school buddies. We went up to Brisbane from here one weekend to go and watch a cricket game, and none of us were we're high school students. Only a couple of us were licensed drivers. G'day, Ty. And yeah, none of us were very familiar with the roads in Brisbane. And like Scungy just alluded to, there's lots of multi-lane one-way streets. And I was in the lead motor vehicle. I think I was riding shotgun, and the car behind us was following us. And we've taken a right turn onto this seemingly empty street. And as we've come around the corner and the second car behind us has followed, we see this massive wall of traffic coming down 4 lanes or 3 lanes, one of the two, directly at us. So both of the cars had to do massive spin arounds to get out of the way of the oncoming traffic before we're all died.
Before we're all died. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good time because I imagine being an innocent bystander on the footpath looking at these strange teenage boys from a foreign state shrieking and trying to turn their cars around before they get run over. And of course, New South Wales number plates on cars are completely different to Queensland number plates. So I would imagine that all the Queenslanders are looking at us going, bloody New South Wales people.
Do you, are the plates any different, or are they just kind of like different color?
Different
Different
colours,
colour.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's nowadays we have different size options and stuff as well, and instead of going with your standard state colors, you can have customized plates and personalized plates, I guess they call them.
Okay.
I'm really can I just jump in and say hi to the Zen Ginger?
Of course you
Because I just noticed in the chat and I got really excited, and because I haven't seen her for a long time and I want to say hi.
And that's what I said before too. I haven't seen Zen for weeks and weeks. And then I said hi, hanging out in Bentley's stream just before. And thanks, Bentley, if you're lurking for the shout outs and whatnot.
He's lurking.
Yeah,
He's lurking and twerking in the background.
That would be a good video.
Lurking and twerking.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do while you lurk? You might as well twerk.
You might as well, brah.
And it's
If you're
a bit
going
more
creepy,
camera
go all the way.
friendly than jerking.
Twerking is more camera friendly than jerking. True.
I mean, you could.
Like a little bit.
I was going to say you could almost get a struck match between them. A little bit of daylight between the rankings. G'day, Geek Boy. How's it going? Yeah, so interesting stuff. The twerking while you're lurking.
That's right.
But yeah, if you're gonna jerk while you lurk, keep that to yourself, please. Do everyone a favour. Oh, Stephen P, double M triple I, forgot you. I like the name change, Stephen P. Stephen P 2003 Awkwardix. That's a lovely play on words. Potentially
The
one of the
Awkwardix.
finest. One of the finest plays on the aquatics word I've seen. Well done, Stephen. I'm going to send you an honorary bucket of kudos in the post just for that alone. And Vinoxky. G'day, Vinoxky. Don't know how I missed you, but I didn't now. I got you now. So what's been going on in your world, Corvus? Oh, hang on. No. Before we get to that, we didn't, and g'day, Daniel Velez. We didn't get to why Scungy was in Brisbane yesterday. Sorry, Scungy. I cut your story off with my shit story. And
that was your story anyway. It was just about me.
Yeah. Academics might have been a good one as well, Stephen. But yeah, let's let Scungy tell why she was in Brisbane the day before today.
I was just dropping off art up to a gallery up there. Two pieces this time. Yeah, that's all. Taking them up there so they can go in the exhibition. Yeah.
Be it ever so humble.
Ever so humble, for sure.
So it's basically, and I'm not sure, but is this exhibition that you've dropped your pieces off for, is it a competitive one as well? Or is it just a show?
No, it is competitive. And I mean, I talked about this, I think, last week. So the judge is like a pretty awesome fantasy artist.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of the exciting things. But it's it is competitive, but it's only got a first and second place overall. And that's all that there is. So I mostly am entering it once again. I'm trying to enter things to get myself in a place of firstly feeling like I can do it and just overcoming a bit of a hurdle that I have in myself, and just for the experience of interacting with the galleries and stuff like that. But I was a little bit excited. I thought I might get a chance to meet the judge from this one. But it turns out the opening night is on my eldest son's 17th birthday. So I don't know if I will make it or not for that.
Birthdays.
Mm.
Is 17 important in Australia? I don't know. Is that a
No,
big
no,
deal?
it's not a significant, like, you know, we do like 18 and 21 and probably
Right.
40 and 50. And one's an important one. But yeah, you know,
Is one important? Okay.
apparently, although, you know, it's important for the parents and for the kids,
Right.
not so much.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh God, I've made it to 1 year.
Yeah.
It's a success, right? I think it's a success.
That's it. Sorry,
And
excuse me.
also, I don't think there's many, you know, even
okay.
30-year-olds that get to a certain stage in their life and they go, oh, I remember that first birthday party that mum and dad threw for me. It was killer. I had such a good time. Yeah,
Look, I did like a really
certainly-
nice first birthday for my first baby, and the other one's just not so much.
Ah,
Yeah, it's like, forget you, buddy. You're not going to remember it. You don't just have some cake and poo your pants and get on with it. Hello,
Yeah,
Jenny
I
Lynn.
mean,
Did I
I
say
think-
hi to Daniel Velos? I'm not sure, but g'day, Daniel. Have a second one if it's your second one. It's all free.
It is. I think it is the second one.
what?
I'm going to have to
21
go and
years, it's just another year closer to the end. That's a very, very positive and rosy outlook you've got there, Big D. But, you know, it takes
I just
a
think
village.
once you get to a certain age, like you could celebrate any day. So it doesn't really matter if it's your birthday or it's not your birthday.
Sorry, I interrupted you saying something before? You were going, I've just got it.
Go and shake myself more cocktails.
Ah, right.
Solid.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
glad.
you know, if you're having a pint with old Blacky over there, then that's what's up.
Sure.
What are you
Plus, I'm
I'm
challenging to work out how red my cheeks can get, because they've certainly increased in redness since I've been sitting here. But I want to see how far I can push them. Will they like combust?
It's good to have goals.
Start
I
glowing.
suppose it's
They're
possible,
glowing already.
right?
Yeah, it is.
G'day, Vince. Welcome aboard. First timer here for 3 reasons. I've stupidly hovered my mouse over it. Bentley talked you up. Oh, Bentley, he's good at that. Have a drink
Bentley.
fits with 9 hours yard work in hot, humid temperatures. Too sore to go.
Bentley's a good man. He's a good man.
And Vince, I like your motivation. You're going to fit in well here. And, you know, sometimes we go long enough for 4 beers in a cooler. Sometimes we don't. I guess now Vince has a goal as well.
Yeah.
Scungy's got
I'm
the
gonna
goal
go.
of red cheeks and Vince has got the goal of 4 beers. Yes, Scungy,
I'm
go
going to go
shake.
shake up a storm.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Shake that thing. Go wild with it, dude. So what's going on with you? What's new in your neck?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Yeah, I've had another fish die.
What died?
Well, I think last week. Did I tell people last week that my jaguar died? Yeah, I think I did, because I can remember telling someone at least that it was so much bigger out of the tank than in the tank. So I think my stupidly double glazed built fish tank actually does the opposite of magnifying, whatever that is, shrinking. I'm sure there's a more technological term for it. But yeah, my jag died last week, and I swear it was 5 centimeters bigger outside of the tank than inside the tank. And then in a completely separate tank, where my female Feste has been recovering for a couple of months since she she murdered her partner. I'm sure she was the culprit because he was a pretty feeble male feste. But yeah, and then once her partner was gone, I think she got a bit beaten up by the Oscar and the Jaguar in that tank. So I moved her away. She's never been right since. And then yeah, I came out 3 mornings ago or something, and yeah, she was dead as well. And then yesterday, I've wandered past the 5 foot behind the X-wing there. It's hidden in the bushes behind the X-wing. My Oscar was looking. He was like on a 45-degree angle, and this is a big Oscar. He's like nearly a foot long. Probably bigger if I took him out of the tank and I wasn't subjected to the minimization of the glass work. He was like ever since the Jaguar died, he's been grumpy and pouty and mopey. Because, you know, Oscars are like that. If you do a water change or you move a rock 3 centimeters, they sulk for 4 days.
Right.
I think the inherent bully nature of my Oscar misses the fact that there's you know, there's no one in the tank now that he can beat up. He can try and harass Gibbo, but Gibbo just doesn't give a stuff. He's too well armored. The only thing that the Oscar can do to Gibbo is make Gibbo's fins a little bit ragged. And just between you and me, I think Gibbo kind of likes that look. I think he's got a little bit of grunge in him. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
That was 2 hands clapping.
Yeah, that's generally Sarah's dog might have done something a little bit wrong. I think clapping is the dog punishment noise. But yeah, I've wandered past my Oscar tank because, like I said, he has been looking a little bit sullen. But then his gut was a little bit sunk in, and he had this big brown clog in his cloaca, in his date, in his vent, whatever you want to call it. And I was thinking, oh, he's going to go too. He was looking real listless. But about an hour later, I mean, I fed him and stuff as well, and he was spitting out his food that he normally just gobbles up.
Did it work?
I was really concerned for him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was going to mute her if she was going to keep doing that.
Sorry.
But then, yeah, like an hour or so later, he'd obviously cleared the blockage from his date, and he was getting around the tank again. So yeah, now I'm now I've got to do a big deep clean on the tank where the feste was, just in case there's like worms or parasites or something in there. And then I will potentially move the Oscar from the 5 foot behind the X-wing into the 3x2x2 once it's cycled again and ready to go. And then I can get a move on turning this 5 foot behind the X-wing into a planted prawn tank again, which my
Huh? His internet is next level.
It sure is. But I really enjoyed the way when he was saying planted, like it all worked really nicely.
Solid.
So does that mean that I'm back?
Yeah, I think you're back.
A little bit.
A little bit.
All right. Am I sketchy though? Because yeah, this I've spoken to other users of the Telstra internet in the neighbourhood, and other people are struggling with it as well. It's been doing the dropouts that it did last week. So, you know, if I get a full boot off here today, I'll be doing a telephone call to the ISP, give them a little bit of a razz, get them to come and fix our bloody wires or something.
Yeah.
Where did I get to in my
send
story?
out a check. What's that?
Yeah, I said, where did I get to in my story? I said I was going to potentially move the Oscar, start the prawn tank, and then maybe move my reveal artist as well, so I can do a big deep clean on their tank. Also, I had my very, very, very long stem of pothos that was coming out of the lid of the reveal artist tank. Just snapped off. It was snapped off yesterday morning.
Are you just having disasters over there, or what's going on?
It's all
because it
seems-
wanted to come home with me. It was like, I'm done being here. I'm going home with her, and so it disconnected.
now I'm potentially I'm wondering if the breakage might have happened on Monday morning when you left here. Maybe you deliberately snapped it off because you knew I'd give it to you.
You know that I do those sorts of things for sure.
The perpetrator.
You could have just been stumbling around in morning haze, accidentally.
Are you the
wafted
pothos
by
thief? Are you stealing pothos now?
I actually do steal pothos, but
Oh,
but not from
Doesn't
Mikey.
everyone? Yeah, she stole it off me, even though I gave it to her.
right.
But because it was, I was quite amazed that it made it the 4, maybe 5 feet to the ground in a few weeks when it first started growing. But when Scungy was here this morning and we pulled it out, it was, I don't know, what was it? It was like over 3 meters long.
But the biggest thing for me is that the stem is like as thick as my finger.
Yeah, it was
Most of the
chunk.
stems are very fine. It's solid.
And woody as well. Yeah, it was like almost timber.
I've not encountered such a stem. Because all the ones that I have in water, so of course they grow much more slowly. So they all just stay quite fine and very gradual growth. I've not ever seen something as chunk as that. Out of water as well, but they grow much more quickly when they're in the fish tank where they've got lots of food versus my little jars and bottles around my house.
Aha, I see.
Well, that's why half of the time when I'm topping up my water in my pothos bottles, I use fish tank water. Seems to make sense to, instead of just wasting all the fish tank water, to use it.
Yeah, all my fish tank water makes it onto a plant of some kind.
I was doing that when I had a fish in my tank, but now my tank is like not got any fish in it.
It's just chilling.
It's waiting for me to make a decision, which can take a long time.
Apparently. How long has it been empty now?
So long.
6 months.
A really long time. But
you've still got the waterfall running, yeah?
Yeah, it's still all going. There's just no one living in there except the plants.
Yeah. She's got her eye on some fancy shrimp that are like way outside of our budgets.
I would love fancy shrimp, but I was considering the other day just going and getting another better.
Black
that's
thread.
quite... Is that funny because you just got given that perfume?
It's not perfume, it's paint.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's the
I thought it was deodorant.
It's the second blackest paint. This is the second blackest paint on Earth. It's 99. Yeah, it's 99.96% black, and it's super flat. Hold on, I'll show you. Let me find a sacrificial paintbrush. I'll be right back.
I like this. I like the way this is going.
G'day, Scotty. Alien World Aquatics in the house. Scotty sent me an amazing video the other day. A bloody Tommy gun, pellet gun, BB gun. I didn't know they did that. It's crazy what fun type of firearms the kids can get over there in that America.
You can get all the guns.
There's this thing is I don't remember what it is. My nephew has these ones that shoot like some gel stuff.
Gel
You know what that is?
blasters. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, that's what they're called, I think. Because yeah, you can get in trouble for importing gel blasters into Australia because a lot of them are very accurate replicas of proper guns and stuff. And as I've found out in recent Googling for a friend, if you even importing replica guns into Australia, you need to clear it with the government before you bring it in. So you've got to actually fill out all this paperwork and request permission.
For a friend.
Huh?
For a friend.
For Brett. Brett's he wants to bring a replica handgun for his Indiana Jones cosplay. G'day, Terry. Other Terry. We got 2 Terrys in here unless other Terry left.
How many Terrys can we get?
Well, I mean,
We need lots and lots of Terrys, right?
We've got 3
I
different
thought that-
versions of Michael, but we've got 2 Terrys. Oh yeah, it's scary Terrys.
See, I always thought it was like the Joels and the Scotts were the abundant.
Yeah, well, I did say Scott before, but I think our only recent Scott visitor is Alien World Aquatics, Scott. And Joel G's here, so we do have 2 Joels. 2 Joels, 2 Terrys, 3 Michaels. I don't know if Mickham considers himself a Michael, though.
That's a question, right?
That's me assumptimating.
This
But yeah,
painting's
so
mixing.
So yeah, Brett is going. He's going to import a replica gun for Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm just twerking.
Yeah, he's twerking
Don't worry.
and lurking.
I'm not jerking, I'm twerking.
It's just the sound effects were like
spot on.
They were lovely.
I don't know who makes that much noise while they're twerking, you know.
You know, some people are passionate.
Passionate. Just a passionate man. All right. Yeah. So, like, here's a piece of paper, right? Just an envelope. And,
I hope this
I might have to do a
translates
couple
to camera
coats
well.
on this paper. But, like, it's weird when you paint stuff with this black and you can do like a couple coats. It eventually gets to the point where, so it's like glossy right now, but once it dries, like you'll be able to, it's a little bit glossy and shiny right now, but like once it dries, it won't reflect any light. It just absorbs the light. So you can like completely lose perspective on stuff with like how black the item gets.
Probably need some of that.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Probably, I'd say definitely.
I've been screwing around with painting stuff and then like filming it. And because it's so black, like it looks like you have cropped it out digitally, but then it's an item that you can pick up.
Just filming the item once it's whatever you've got once it's painted, or filming yourself painting it.
Once it's painted, you have like an item that looks like it's digitally removed.
Yeah, right.
but you could hold it in your hand because it's not digitally removed. It just reflects no light. So the camera
Wow.
can't pick it up. The camera's just like, huh? It just looks like a void, whatever you paint with this stuff.
I'm
And,
intrigued. I can't wait to see the outcomes.
Yeah, it's super fun. So I've been
G'day,
trying to figure out
Jess. Pipex.
ways to get it like a clear coat on it, and then because I've been filming some goofy stuff that's just like, oh, this could just be like a TikTok video or something, which is like whatever. That's not my thing. But my thing is to be shaking stuff in the background over here. Makes it seem like I'm masturbating.
Because
But,
you needed to say that bit.
I've been trying
we
to.
we all didn't pick up on it.
You didn't pick up
Oh.
on it? Yeah, I'm just
No.
shaking
Yeah,
paint.
no, apparently most of the chat thinks you were just exercising with a shake weight.
Oh, it's the shake weight. Would you? But
Yeah.
don't you have to like hold it like this, right? Isn't that how you do it?
Yeah, because that's
Yeah, but
that's
that
never-
ruins the
never been-
mystery.
The mystery
It's
of what
never
you're
been-
practicing for.
Yeah.
Right.
It's also never
Um,
been used as a euphemism for masturbation either.
That's true. That's true. True.
Never,
Never
ever.
before. Never before. So I've like filmed some stuff that like could be just goofy TikTok videos and whatnot, but I've been trying to figure out like a way to incorporate it into fish tank videos, and I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank as to just being like, hey, look, there's a thing in there that they do it, but it'll be fun. Some
We're
point.
like just paint one of your fish and set it back free in the tank.
Just let it
Ab-
loose. Like, oh, look, there's a dead fish there.
But it'll be black and non-reflective.
There is a dead fish.
Yeah,
let's
you
see.
may have to use a hairdryer or something to dry the paint so that it's still alive by the time it goes back in.
I think it'd make it, right?
Yeah,
Like for a little while.
Oh man, Pipex is here. Pipex is lurking. Look out.
Just a disclaimer too, for all of the fish keepers out there, don't paint your fish, please. That was
Yeah, don't
disgusting.
paint your
Being
fish.
funny.
Or do.
Oh,
Yeah,
go on,
don't-
then. Yeah, paint
And-
them.
Don't
Go on.
don't paint your fish, guys. Mm-mm. You don't want to do that. Hold on.
Oh,
My mustache is not as sticky as it should be.
it's not.
At first, I'd actually thought you just went with some of your extreme black paint, but that would.
I don't know.
Instead
I
of
should've
like
done that. That would've been
sticky
fun.
stuff, what you need is like the half of the Velcro, the soft bit of the Velcro, because then you can just Velcro it kind of to your stubble.
To
and
the
it'll
stubble. and
Stay
just
there
get it
much
on
more
there.
nicely. Because your adhesive isn't going to adhere to the bristle, but
These are dollar store mustaches, so I can put them on Olivia, and then take
well, that's as
pictures
soon
of
as
her.
you put it on. I had this flash. I had a Mexican fiesta party for one of my kids once,
Yes.
and like all the kids in there.
It's awesome when they like one of them has it like on their forehead, like one kid has it on their forehead, one's got it on their neck.
Kids need to get
It's-
inventive and give themselves a massive monobrow.
Like that.
I was filming something where I was using these as my eyebrows. There we go.
That style?
It's
It
a
was your
good- it's a
eyebrow?
good-
Or
it's a
was
good
it the
style for an
more
eyebrow.
rounded style?
It's a good
This
style
one?
for an eyebrow, right? You got
Sure.
this
I like
middle
it.
part.
I
and then you got
like
this part, and then
I
you-
like the
you shape.
idea of like the two when you've got two eyebrows on, them coming in the middle, and like I like the idea of that shape.
Right, you can go like this. Right? And then you just got like an Armenian thing going.
Oh, eyebrows are good fun, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a slow week over here. I don't know. I've just been working on the we've been finishing up the kitchen. We got all the flooring in the kitchen and all that, and been doing some trim. We'll be wrapping up that project fairly soon, and then doing some woodworking. Like I've got to make a bunch of like handcrafted wood pieces for it. I'm doing some decorative wood pieces, like some floating shelves and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty fun. I'm actually going to make videos about making like floating shelves and stuff.
You're not like carving them special. It's just like plain shelves. Are you doing some decorative like carvings?
Carving them and stuff, yeah. So
I like that.
It'll be fun.
Will you show us? Because I don't know you outside of this format we're in right now. Are you going to show us your decorative wood carving? Because I like to see that.
Maybe
when it's done, maybe, you know.
Yeah, probably. Well, hold on. I'll get. What? Oh, I don't have any. Well, hold on. I'll show you one of my paintings.
Good idea.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
On the wall. There's one on the wall of me. But like,
what's he showing us?
Painting.
Here's a painting I made.
I wanted to see wood carvings, and we get paintings. I'm happy.
Made out of wood. I'll be behind it.
And is that like a sheet of like a solid piece of wood? Like,
yeah.
Will you tell me about the wood?
I like built the frame and everything, you know.
Oh, yeah. You did.
Yeah. So there's that. That's
I didn't have like all the bits to do that. But the sheeting it's solid wood? It's not like ply or anything?
It's solid, really thin cut though, so you can pick it up. So,
and
like,
you buy it in that
was on the floor. I found a painting on the floor. It's like this.
I like that one.
I was making all these like shrimp stencils and I was sending them out to people. This was like one of the reject ones that just exists on my floor. I got piles of art down here in my office. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I make all sorts of weird stuff. I'm always making stuff.
Me too.
Who's the third Terry? They're saying there's 3 Terrys now, or is Ty short for Terry?
Oh, there's Scary Terry. There's
Terry's Tropical Tanks.
Terry's Tropical Tanks, and his Ty. Ty's not a Terry, really?
No, that's I would imagine that it's Tyler or Tyson or Ty Brandelact.
One time,
that shrimp was one of the rejects that I made. I sent all the other ones out. I think I don't know. I think I sent out like 10 of them to like people that became patrons. So
do you have patrons
on Patreon?
Do you find it stressful keeping up with it?
Keeping up with what?
Patreon stuff.
Well, I mean, I just make videos for Patreon.
Okay.
And we, like we're
and shrimp.
Well, I don't send out art anymore. It was just like I did that at the beginning. Because like, I mean, I think I have like 180 people on Patreon. So like if I was sending out art every month, that's the only thing I'd be doing.
Well, that's what I wonder. I see lots of people who have them, and as the patrons increase, right. And I just feel like it would be a massive amount of work just keeping up with and trying to find something new and fresh that's exciting enough for people to be wanting to be a part of that group.
Well, the problem is like if I make the art and then I ship the art, like I would either have to do a thing where like I made prints for everybody, which like I think last time I priced it out, like getting the print made and then having them like ship it, I think was like $9 a unit or something like that.
Mhm.
So like I would have to charge people like probably $30 to even like kind of make it worthwhile or whatever.
Hmm.
And then it's like, well, then only people that can afford like $30 a month can be on the Patreon, right?
Yeah.
So a big part that I do is we run the Discord. The Discord's like a forum that everybody that's like kind of a part of my channel community just is all like chatting and sharing and stuff all the time. And then obviously we have like the Minecraft server and some other stuff. And, but like sending the art out it's like one of those things where, you know, it would just alienate a bunch of people. Like, dude, I can't afford $30 a month. That's kind of goofy, right? And then I don't think that people would get the value that they'd be paying for, you know, like, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. It just became this really weird thing. And then I would be like stressed out if I was trying to do like paintings, but it's like, yeah, but I make YouTube videos about fish tanks. Why am I'm spending all my time doing paintings and trying to get those done at a deadline every month. That, you know, and then it's plus like shipping the stuff like would take a whole day if I was sending out. I mean, if I was sending out like 20 or 50 of them, that would take a whole day. Like doing 200 of them would take multiple days. That would take like 4 days out of the month or something. I don't know, like packing them up, labeling them, making sure that they're all going to all the people, like making sure people at the right reward level, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, it's one of those crazy things where it's just like, I don't have 4 days to like be a guy who's running a shipping department. You know what I mean? Like,
G'day 503.
like,
Is your
I mean, that's the weird thing
this
is that like I don't run a shipping department. So
is your Discord only available to your Patreons?
Patreon and like YouTube members.
Members.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, there's like 300 people in there, so it's sort of like, yeah, okay. And I even have like the Discord's like limited to like 1,000 people. Like I feel like you get over 1,000 people and it just starts to become chaotic, you know. So it's just limited to that. But we've never hit 1,000, so I haven't had to worry about it, huh?
I reckon Discord's chaotic at 100 people.
It's not that bad.
I don't have Discord, but while we're talking about this, will you guys tell me, because my 12-year-old son wants to have Discord, which apparently his couple of best friends have, for them to be able to chat to each other and stuff like that. Will you tell me if you think that is a good thing for me to allow him to do? Because I don't know a lot about it, so I have like been holding off from setting up something that he can use for that. But is there any danger to that if he's just got just for his friends and stuff?
Well, I mean, there's a danger to everything, right? So Discord is like, if you remember back in the day when you had like chat rooms, right?
I do.
It's basically just a really advanced chat room. The people that you know are in there, and you know, like people have to be invited to find your Discord. Like it would be very difficult for like random strangers.
This is mostly what I'm wondering. Like if he's got one and he's just got his friends, he's not sort of prey to lots of other things, is he? He's just got his group with his friends in it. That's all safe and nice. Okay.
ICQ. Oh, there's a flashback.
He has a big smile on his face now because he's only sitting over there and he's listening to what I'm saying. Yeah,
I mean it's one of those things that like it's I mean it's honestly a really good tool, especially I mean it was designed for and by like gamers, right? So it's like you have a private chat room where you can share like your video gameplay. You can make phone calls on it. Like people can sit in a chat room that they have video chat or just audio chat, that kind of stuff. It's it's a wonderful. I mean, it's Microsoft tried to buy Discord for like $10 billion the other day. So I mean, it's a reasonable. It's a great tool. It's like if Facebook was a healthy environment.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have to deal with all the wackadoo people on Facebook, that's kind of what it would be like, but with more usable interfaces, I guess. I don't know. It's a great program.
And you don't get advertised that.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like if you are concerned, it's just like any other computer application. Like as a parent, you just want to be able to go, hey, leave it open so that you guys aren't doing anything.
But like I'm very limiting on my kids. They don't have Facebooks and they don't have anything. They get like 30 minutes a day on the Switch.
Right. So I mean, Discord's useful because you're going to be able to communicate with people that that's basically.
Well, that's it. That's what he wants it. He wants it socially. He's got his little group of friends, and he wants to be able to do that. So, but I, not having any other sort of frame of reference to know what it was about, wasn't quite sure whether it was good and safe to let him do that.
I think the only potential for unsafe behaviour on there is if people are slinging around invites everywhere.
Sure.
And then you might get randos in there that you don't necessarily want. But for the most part, it's very direct groups communicating.
I'm pretty sure that they also genuinely want it for interacting with one another.
Yeah,
and it's a much better option than Facebook or Instagram or all that.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, because you're not going to be
stuff.
having a whole bunch of outside, like people will share stuff in there. It's like, oh, hey, here's a picture of my dog, or here's an article I read the other day, or hey guys, what's up? I mean, like that's basically the space, and you're not going to be dealing with like random people, right?
Okay.
And and even if you did, you can just immediately block them if they sent you it's really weird to get a friend request on Discord realistically
from someone that you don't know and haven't
from somebody you don't know would be bizarre. Like somebody might just be like randomly typing in, like somebody like me, you could probably spend some time trying to figure out what my handle is on Discord and like try and send me a message or something. Like it would probably take you quite a very long time to figure it out, and with getting it wrong a million times, so like unless you're in a Discord together with somebody, you're not just going to be found out of the blue, that kind of stuff. It's just
I like it. This all sounds good.
Yeah, it's certainly a much better option than social media for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, like, I don't think from my standpoint, having been on the internet for so long, it's like I don't think that I would have Olivia. I mean, with the way everything is now, I would say you probably want to wait till they're like 16, 17, 18 before they're interacting with any of that stuff. I think realistically, but
I feel pretty much the same. And that's why this coming up at 12 is like, I'm really trying to assess whether it's a positive thing that allows him to still, have that social interaction when we live in a quite regional area where people live quite far away from each other. So he can have an opportunity to still have that social interaction with his friends outside of school versus all the other stuff that goes with internet.
G'day, zip gun.
Right.
503 raises an interesting point that you could be in there as well. Like you could join the Discord so you could
Yeah,
former
you could be in
supervisory
there
role.
and just
Okay.
monitor what's going on. Like you don't
You
have to
don't
be.
have to type stuff. You
Yeah.
can just
Yeah,
look. I don't
totally.
think it doesn't show them that you're in the room or anything, does it? It doesn't show that you've seen a message like other social
Well,
medias doing stuff.
it will show you like who's a member of that Discord, that specific one.
It'll show you who's a member, but it won't show you when that person's in there. Yeah.
Well, you can turn that off, but it'll tell you like what people are up to or not.
Yeah. Right.
Like because it's a game, because it's gaming oriented. Like it will often say like. So if I look through my Discord right now, like somebody's playing Minecraft, somebody's playing World of Warcraft, somebody's playing The Mechanic. I don't know what that is.
Do people still play World of Warcraft?
Yeah, it's still quite popular. Some people are playing Minecraft, but those are all the people that are like actively on right now or whatever. And then there's a bunch of people that are just not logged in. Because they just aren't logged on, like I could send them a message or whatever if I wanted to, but
Sorry, I have to go chase my dog.
so like one of the cool things with Discord is that like you can set up all the channels that you want that are set specific to like what people talk about in there. Like we have some fish tank channels, like we have some projects that people are working on. If we have a channel for like people that are selling stuff, we have a music channel. People want to share like what music they're listening to, blah, 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 so it's kind of one of those things that's, it's just a very useful tool application for, especially like for just an actual form of social networking that's not toxic as all hell.
Well, I ditched Discord about 6 months ago because I just the Discord rooms that I was in or invited to, I was just constantly getting notifications for chat that I'm not interested in and stuff. And then good old Shaddy came along and wanted me to join the Degenerate Fish Keepers Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and now I'm back to square one, just getting constant notifications for
well, what I do is you want to go to like the specific Discord and right click on it, and then you can mute server, but you can go to server settings and whatnot and notification settings. And so I only have notification settings turned on if somebody ats me. And it really dials down the like getting notifications because people are chatting like bring, 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 bring. Like every once in a while I get one that's at me, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll set specific for that. And then when I'm actually reading through what everybody has posted, I just do that like when it's the appropriate time for me to be doing that, as opposed to like, oh my God, my phone's going off. Like, what's happening? And it turns out somebody's just talking about a brisket recipe that they have back and forth with somebody, and you're like, why did I get my phone out for this? This is I could catch up with this later.
Yeah.
And Patty says old people don't know how to mute the notifications. That is true. I have noticed that from everybody that is my age and up is like, well, I don't know. The damn thing was going off all the time. And it's like, there's settings, man. Like you have to change the settings. It's set to default and you want to customize it for yourself. So, and believe you me, I had to figure that out. I had to figure that out myself from advice from somebody else that was like, oh, hey, do this. And I was like, oh, now I look like a smarty pants. So,
yeah, I agree with Terry too. If someone's good brisket recipe could be vital.
It could be vital, and it is saved, right? That's the thing. It's going to be saved in the chat there, and I can go back and read it when I'm not, maybe I'm on the dookie break. I got to take the this coffee's interacting with me. Break, you know.
It's coming through.
Go ahead and scroll through and give a read here, which is why I never touch anybody's phone.
Yeah, lots of phone use happens on the toilet, isn't it?
That's just a fact of life, right?
Yeah.
I think we all gotta understand that at this point.
Humans are pretty fucking gross. Full stop.
Humans are super gross. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay. We probably gotta talk about the Bad Batch, right?
Well, let me give us a segue.
Okay.
I'll show you this first. Oh, hang on. I nearly removed myself instead of soloing myself.
Oh, there you go.
I hope it works on green screen.
Oh, hey.
Four different
the
hot
original Stormtrooper hot sauce.
Yeah, well, I found the licensing very, very humorous on this box because there's no licensing mentioned for Star Wars, but they mention Shepperton Design Studios, who are apparently responsible for the first Stormtrooper helmet design.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reference they give is Shepperton Design Studios. No actual Star Wars licensing.
They're just legit out there on the bootleg. Just like, hey, it's what we're doing.
Well, potentially they might have got a they might have actually got a deal with Shepperton Studios that might, because they designed it, maybe they've got some interesting copyright thing for themselves.
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's like... Wow. Never mind. Yeah, but, when I saw... G'day, ugly man. How is it going? When I saw hot sauce in Stormtrooper shaped bottles, and it was on special and free delivery, so I couldn't resist. $12 or $13 for 4 little Stormtrooper bottles. I'm in. I'm sold. I'm there.
Yeah, why not?
I was actually too, Big D, and I will say that I'm happy that it came from an Australian company. But it does say on it that it was made in China. But I'm not sure if the sauce was made in China or if the bottles were made in China. It doesn't really specify. But I'm fairly certain if the sauce was made in China, I will probably taste the China on it. There's a vehicle in the back paddock. How random. But yeah, I'm trying to think up a concept. Scungy and I have been doing watching a fair bit of Hot Ones on the YouTubes. And we were very tempted to do... I've only got one hot sauce here at the moment, so I'm quite glad that we didn't just do that one, but potentially we'll have to do a tasting kind of video where we go through the sauces going up into the hotter ones.
Right.
And I'm kind of thinking, I'm speculating that my my hot sauce that I already have is probably 5 to 10 times hotter than any of the ones in here. But we'll find out, I guess, in due time. But yeah, we were so keen for spicy chicken the other night after watching so much Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Scungy, you're muted. One moment. You've muted yourself, Scungy. You need to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you.
There you go.
What were you saying with your gesticulations and whatnot?
I was just saying it's funny because I never craved that kind of food. but whenever we're watching it, I just want to eat like spicy bits of chicken. Which is funny because the people are suffering and they look like they're really not enjoying it, but it still makes me want to eat it.
Yeah,
I always think it's funny. Like every once in a while, somebody comes on there that clearly eats like insane food, insane hot food all the time, and they're just like eat all 10 of them. Like, okay. Like, is there more? Is there more chickens? Like,
well,
oh my god.
And there is, but what I've been interested in is because I was saying, because we watched like the first one I watched, the lady that we're watching, she just did not seem like really affected. She held her shit together so well and just so composed and impressive to me just as a human being, I guess. And that was the first episode I'd ever seen. But, you know, in terms of proportionate, we mostly had watched like male people doing it. With some who had big tantrums about it and some who, you know, took it and some who took, I was so disappointed when I watched Weird Al and he just took like the tiniest little bites. No, that is not entertaining. But actually, so then I pushed, we need to watch like some more female people doing it because well, I just wanted to see them suffering, not cruelly, but obviously that's what the joy of the show is. But what I've found since we watched a few is that actually women seem to like really hold themselves together so much better when they're under the incredible pressure. I don't know whether that's because they feel like they have to put something forth more than what the male people were putting forth, but that's what I noticed once we started watching more females, because even when they were suffering, we just didn't see any that had the big tanties that some of the guys had when they were like suddenly realized it's actually a real physical thing that you're going to go through, and then they get really upset that as if they didn't realize what it was going to be like and they're being unfairly targeted or something. I don't know. So
are they?
I don't know. I don't know if I was making a point there or I was just rambling. So
we were both
you're
very
just, you're just reveling in the
Al.
intestinal fortitude of the ladies that are on the hot ones.
Sure.
I mean, you got to watch out if you watch a hot ones video because you're going to get like automatically served up like 100 of those to watch. The YouTube algorithm will immediately put hot ones videos in your feed.
I only watch them through Mikey's YouTube. So
yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm safe.
Those guys have a lot of advertising money. There's one thing I realize about YouTube is that the secret to successfully YouTubing is paying a whole bunch of money to have your videos shared all over the place.
Yeah, it's a good help.
I realize that now. That's probably the way to do it.
Can I just say to Jess Shrimp Granny that you can't just go saying things like that's a medical fact about a facet of the humankind that cannot be tangibly measured. You cannot measure a pain tolerance of any individual. So it is completely flawed that people can say women have a higher pain tolerance just because they've got to give babies. And yes, we watched that Aubrey Plaza one, and she's probably one of the more funner ladies that was on the show. You remember that one?
Aubrey Plaza.
She was the one that snorted the milk up her nose.
Oh yeah, I liked her. Yeah. Actually,
Aubrey's pretty gangster. I don't know.
She's very funny and very. I love her style.
I like that she is real classy, and that is not impacted by her, spitting everywhere and snorting milk and stuff. Like you can see that's genuine class. It's not put on. It's because, if you can spit everywhere and snort milk out your nose and still maintain that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
Dennis keeps asking us, who is she? It's like, I mean,
She played April on Parks and Rec.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I haven't seen her anywhere else
You might
except
have
for
to
on
Google search
that.
her. I don't know. She's a very interesting. She's an interesting cat. 100%.
Even when she had
I think she's like 50% mongoose and like 20% schizophrenic and like 30%. I don't know. Just a mishmash of human. I don't know. She's a very interesting weirdo. Like something got on autoplay and like there was like Aubrey Plaza interviews where she was like being interviewed by like Conan and all this stuff, and it was just like she's such an awkward weirdo. Like it's like how is she? Yeah, she's coming up with some crazy stuff. That's for sure. Like all right.
Yeah, and even when she had milk dribbling out of her nose or spit hanging off her chin, she she just seemed to ooze class.
That's the first and only time that I've experienced her. I don't know her from anywhere else except for that episode that we saw.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen.
But I respected her as a human
right?
being from watching that. So.
Oh my God, I went on a crazy rant yesterday about the Tomorrow War. Have you seen that yet?
No, but I'm tempted to watch it.
My God, you got to go into it with like one of two ways recommended. You're gonna have to drink like 100 beers, or
That's in my wheelhouse.
Or you're gonna have to go in like and expect to be super critical of all of the stupid nonsense that it contradicts itself throughout the whole entire movie. Is so dumb. It's unbelievable. I think I even mentioned it yesterday. The $200 million budget is probably what pissed me off the most, in the fact that like who edited this dumpster fire of a dumb movie? Like there's even parts where, and this won't spoil the movie for anybody, so don't worry, but like there's a part at the beginning where he has to get 12 vials, right? He's got to get 12 vials. They're very specific. It's these 12 vials. You got to get them. There's 12 of them. You got to get them. And they say it over and over again that it's 12 vials. And there's 15 of them. Okay? So like at the very least, like recut the audio to just say the blue ones or something, you know? Like
Maybe
there's 15 in the shot. So stop saying 12 over and over again. There's 12 of them. You'll know what it is.
Maybe there's 15 total, but only 12 were required for the purpose.
You'll have to watch it.
Okay.
You'll have to watch it, but it's full of tons of stupid crap like that. The acting sucks. The aliens are really cool, but they nerf the aliens. It's so dumb.
Yeah, one of the actors was on the Comedy Bang Bang podcast this week.
Like I seriously like give Dr. Black and I $1 million and we'll make a movie and it will be better than that dumpster fire.
And if we mention a dozen beakers of a particular fluid, there will be a dozen on camera.
I mean, at the very least, it could have been a baker's dozen, you know? Could have been like, I thought 13 was a dozen.
I love the idea of
nobody mixes up 12 and 15. Right?
True. Say again, Scungy.
I love the idea of a movie that is just jam-packed full of things like that, so that everyone that watches it just feels irritated all the time that the things aren't in line. That will be my movie. I'll make that one.
That would be a genius. That would be a genius thing to do. Like if somebody could really pull that off. It's like Army of Darkness, right? Or the Evil Dead. Sorry. It's like Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, right? Like they made Evil Dead and everybody was laughing at it. And then they were like, oh shit, we got to go back and remake this movie, but make it funnier and just lean into the funny. Let's do that. And they're like, is Evil Dead 2 a different movie? You're like, no, it's the same script. It's just funnier. And you're like, so they made the same movie twice? And like, yeah, they literally had the moxie to go like, F it, we're going back. We're going to make it again, but it's going to be funny this time. Same movie. Same movie with like the same actors and everything. like we're just going to lean into this being funny as hell, you know? It's like, this is my boomstick, you know, like that's Army of Darkness, but you know what I mean? It's like he makes his arm into a chainsaw and he's groovy, you know, and you're like, yeah, oh my God. It made that guy's career. It made his career. I can't remember his name, but like Bruce Campbell. There we go. Like Bruce Campbell's career right there. Made it's just genius. They should, more people should do that. More people should have the humility to like, we made a stupid movie and it's all dumb. We should just go back and remake it because it's all dumb. We'll make it good though. I don't know.
Yeah, Jess, I'm not 100% sure if you know, there's certain things you can call facts, but subjective stuff I don't think you can call facts.
Oh, are we still talking about the pain tolerance thing?
Apparently,
yeah.
The chat is,
I mean,
but you know,
it's just, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's super subjective to figure out like what people's pain is or isn't, or you know, people that have chronic pain is a perfect example of like, oh, they say their pain's at a 7 right now. Oh, okay, that's pretty bad. But like, if they've been in pain for 5 years or 10 years or whatever, like their 7 is probably somebody else's 100. You know?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's all
but that's
super
always
subjective.
the case. Is someone's 7 can be someone else's 100.
Right.
I think that one of the big things is that pain tolerance is really mental. Like there is obviously there are other things, but a lot of that is mental. If you look at people who work really hard on building that ability to disconnect from the pain, and then they can tolerate incredible things because they.
Well, you have to, you know. I mean, it's like you have to get through the day to day. I mean, I don't know. I think about it sometimes. It's like I don't even know. I don't know if I'm in a lot of pain or not. Like I've broken a lot of parts of my body, and I get a lot of weird feelings in my body all the time. Because like even earlier today, like one of my lungs was hurting really bad, and I was like, I don't know. Is it hurting bad, or is it just like, is that just kind of I don't know if it's normal or not. Like.
Well, you've also got just in yourself how you're feeling. If you're feeling in one certain way, you can tolerate loads of pain and like feel power from it. And another day you might be feeling where you've got no resources to go through, and a small amount of pain might be enough to tip you over the edge.
Right.
Where you're like, no, this is too much. I can't take this right now.
Right. And you're just like, where's my serotonin level at? I don't know. Mine has got to be fucked up, because every time I've gone to the doctor, they've tried to give me meds and stuff, and it doesn't do the right thing that it's supposed to do. So I don't, who the hell knows? It's super hard to say. Like Big D has chronic pain, and he has to deal with the, managing the narcotics and stuff, and to get through his days and everything. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know how I'd deal with that. But like I said, I don't know if I'm in a lot of pain or not, because sometimes I'm in like a lot of pain and sometimes I'm not. But is it different? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in that boat as well. That I feel that I'm riding a consistent pain level nonstop. But depending on if I'm feeling good or feeling shit on a particular day, I can approach that pain from a completely different point of view.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing. It would be a weird thing to I don't know if science will ever get to a point where they have like a definitive a definitive take
Measure.
on
I don't think
that stuff.
I don't think it would be actually measurable, because pain is perception.
Right. Like it's
You know,
all
which
just,
means it's completely individual to you in your present state.
right. Like when I cut this thumb off, like it didn't hurt. It didn't really hurt. I was just more shocked than anything.
But that's it.
Then-
So shock
but the
can
next day-
override it.
Like the next day, it hurt like a motherfucker. It's like I'll bonk it into things and like, oh god, yeah. But then after a couple weeks, like I just kind of got used to it. Like I got used to it hurting and stuff. And now like half of it's dead. Like I can't
hang
even
on,
really
I
like
haven't
feel
been
what's
reading
going
all
on.
that stuff.
Like when your foot's asleep and you poke it, like
Yeah.
that. This thumb. So this thumb feels like that, and then these two fingers feel like that from when I cut all the tendons out of this wrist. So like this side and this side are like they don't work right. They feel like they're asleep all the time. So I don't know. It's weird, but
I have to call you out again, Jess Shrimp Granny, because I don't think it's genetically proven, because it's the sensory effect of pain is not something that you can genetically prove.
yeah,
So
I don't know.
I know you're a qualified nurse and stuff, but there's no way you can genetically prove an individual's ability to feel pain, because it is so subjective and so dependent on psychological state as well.
Right.
Sorry, Jess. Your textbook's wrong.
Well, the thing is,
Well-
once again, we're in a position, like I haven't really been reading the chat. I just had a look at it then. But, the thing is, when you start coming to this degree of a conversation where you're going like, what's proven and what's not proven,
Right.
I think unless you actually have, like, I mean, we're not sitting here with actual facts, from studies in front of us, and it's not. We
Yeah,
don't
it's
have.
true.
We don't
I mean,
really
it's-
know. We can't really all.
I mean, there recently
We're
was
just people having a beverage and chatting about shit.
right, and there there was one of those things that like there was. Well, I mean, there recently was like a pretty big expose on, and I guess the way to put this was like elderly doctors were passing on prejudices to the younger students because of previous medical texts and specific genetic variants on whether or not, for instance, they used to say that like, oh, black people don't feel as much pain as white people, so don't give them narcotics, which is like, what? Like, where'd you come up with that? Where'd you come up with that weirdness? And it's sort of like, well, grandpa doctor passed it on down to daddy doctor, and now daddy doctor is going to pass it on down to little kid doctor, and you're like, it's what? Why is that in that old book? And where's the new book? Bring the new book out here, So my mom was an RN for 45 years. She was a charge nurse running ER and all that kind of stuff. And we've had a lot of conversations on retraining over the years and things that change. We've definitely had some conversations on that because, I basically, like, when I was reading about that, like I kind of passed it on to my mom, and she was like, yeah, this stuff has definitely come up over the years that, like, wait a minute, pump the brakes on some of the stuff you might have learned. For my mom, it's like my mom learned when did my mom go to school? Like 72 or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think. 45, 70. Yeah, I think my mom got out of school in 72 or 74. I don't remember. But regardless, it's like, yeah, over the years, like a lot of stuff like that has come out where it's like, hey, you need to step back from some of the stuff you might have learned previously, because here's what we're really finding now. And that's obviously it's a changing field constantly of stuff like that, because it's not easy to quantify what it is that is happening. It's like if you have a broken leg it's pretty easy to compare those broken legs to all the other broken legs and how they healed and how somebody, did you put it in a cast for 3 weeks? Oh, shoot, putting it in a cast for 3 weeks isn't long enough. Oh, let's try 5 weeks. Oh, well, it turns out 7-8 weeks is it looks like most of the leg bones heal after 7-8 weeks. Okay, well, how about everybody do that? Well, the pain stuff is like, you don't have like a quantified, oh, we took an x-ray and it's healed now. Like, you're good, get out of here, it's fine. It's like, well, my thigh hurts really bad, like, and they're like, no, it doesn't. We looked at it and it doesn't hurt. So it's like, well, you can't visually see, so
then the most important thing is listening to people and their
right.
experience and
how they're experiencing it.
Yeah, taking it from there.
I saw a guy that got chainsawed in the neck and he drove himself to the ER.
Okay. I like this guy already.
Like this right here, like off to the side, he'd like put the and it like had bucked back and hit him right here. Like maybe saying it's the neck is a little exaggerating. Maybe this neck shoulder thing right here. What's this muscle called? The trap or something? I don't know. But this was all cut. This was cut open. Like he had the chainsaw like nicked into his collarbone. You know what I mean? Like it went in big time. And he came in with a towel on it and had driven himself there in his pickup truck. Like, all right, I need some stitches or something, and they were like, what happened? It seems like did you get a cut or something? And he like took the towel off and it was like, holy crap, oh my God, you're going to die. Get in here right now.
Chainsaw doesn't make a tidy wound, does it?
No.
It's like,
it is interesting the things that people can do when they're, the shock kicks. It's
right.
That thing of something's happened. You're not actually connected to reality at all. It's just that determination that pushes people through sometimes.
Well, that was funny. Like when I cut my thumb off, like I drove myself to urgent care and they were like, did you drive here? And I was like, yeah, I drove here. And then I started to get like all white, and they were like, oh God, sit down, and I was like, I sat down. I was like, oh, I'm getting dizzy. Like, they're like, yeah, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I cut my thumb. I came down here. They're like, this is disgusting. I'm like, okay, well, thanks.
That adrenaline has a purpose, and once it wears off, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah, it's like, I got the flop sweats. I might fall asleep. I might rapidly fall asleep. Hold on.
We had a flop sweat reference the other day, didn't we?
Because we were deciding which hot ones to watch, and there was one guy said he had flop sweats, and you were telling me I had to decide, and I was looking at the things, and you said, well, flop sweats probably like when you get sweaty under your boobs, so maybe he gets like a bit, and so we watched that one. It turned out not to be what flop sweat was.
But what was?
I gotta say, like all women hate.
It was when you flop.
Like all women hate the under boob sweat, right? I think that's it. There's a scientific consensus on that. All women hate under boob sweat.
People with boobs probably hate under boob sweat.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a scientific consensus that it's.
But it's not just women.
It's like 100%. Well, I guess I don't have moobs, so I don't know. I don't know what that's like.
I've got enough for both of us.
Okay, good. Handled.
I thought you denied on the night that flop sweat was under boob sweat because no one sweats under their boobs. I thought you said, or something like that.
That is totally your imagination. You were saying about the thing, and I said, yes, let's watch the one where he gets his tits out. And and then we watched it, and he said what it was, like about flopping, like being a stand-up comedian and you're not doing very well, so you get the sweats. And then we had a little discussion about, it wasn't even about that at all.
Yeah. I may have been a little bit intoxicated by that point.
Yeah, when I had
Usually.
yeah, I think like I've been driven to the ER like, or I guess now it's called the ED, which just makes me laugh because it's like, is it erectile dysfunction? Like, no, it's the emergency department. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, I'm
is it a
bleeding out.
department? Okay,
I'm bleeding out, not bleeding in.
that's right. I'm not engorging. But yeah, I've been there a bunch of times where they were like, "You're not supposed to come here on your own," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm already here."
Yeah, I've
So,
had
okay.
that.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'll drive home and I'll go and get someone to come with me.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Yes, I shouldn't have come on my own, but we're here now. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's get this sorted.
Now it's happening. Yep. Yeah, Vince has a good point. It's like all internally subjective. Joel cut his thumb off and called it maybe a 2 or whatever. Someone else gets a paper cut and calls it a 4. It's a good point. Yeah. It's just that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, well, it ties back to what Jess said before that, you always listen to the patient. What the patient says, you treat them accordingly. So that was an interesting segue because I tried to use my Star Wars hot sauces to segue into the Bad Batch, and instead we segued into a 47-minute pain discussion.
That's right. Why not? Hey, there's no
rules
good, though.
I mean, I don't think I've seen the chat involved in a discussion so ferociously, vehemently, even
in a while.
Yes.
For a while.
I think.
Well,
I think that's
the most recent Bad Batch episode. I thought was fantastic. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too, and then I saw on the internet that people are calling it one of those stupid filler episodes, and I was like, "What the fuck are you on about?"
I heard people saying that this was a filler episode, and I was like, I mean, they're probably drinking turpentine or something. Like, I don't know what's wrong with their brain. You know what I mean? Like,
I found it a very, very crucial episode to the characters' developments. Sorry, Scungy, go.
I just think the thing with the filler episodes and not is that this sort of thing that people have to have every single thing has to be purposeful and full of impact. And I think we're sort of dismissing the fact that we need that fill because part of it helps us, we've got the time to process the other things and you're becoming more familiar with your characters and what's going on. That fill is just as important as having the big moments. You've got to have your contrast, don't you? You've got to have like
but this last episode was action packed. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like this last episode had like all sorts of action and things happening in it. Like, it was like,
I can get though that not a lot of like really big significant reveals and things happened, right? Like, it was full of action, but I don't know.
I felt like there was a lot of significant reveals in it. To me, I don't know. That was my takeaway. My takeaway was like, they went to a separatist planet. They had to go against their traditional ideology to go save somebody from the separatists, right? Who was being held by the Empire, who's being held by their genetic brothers, right? That a lot of them, I think maybe they don't know these ones specifically, but I think it would be very easy for them to know the stormtroopers. They didn't kill any of them. They literally they went through and stunned everybody. They did a covert operation, which we have yet to see them really pull off anything covert.
I will interject because they were still clones. We heard multiple of them talking, and it was D. Bradley Baker's voice. Right. So we were still in clone territory, and I think that's why they had they were only doing stuns. And
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they had to go like directly against a specific force that they would have been involved with. These are all clones, you know. I mean, like, and they didn't kill them, but they, you know, I don't know, man. Like, they left Omega there, which they came to the realization that Omega is a part of the team, like, for real. Like, that's a huge. That's like a huge moment for anybody, let alone like this orphan child who's lived with aliens their whole life, and this is the only people they've ever known to like have like a real family. The Kaminoans are just weird, sort of.
That was a golden moment, a golden moment in the episode too, when Hunter was starting to. They'd made it to their destination, and he was starting to formulate a plan. And he said, "You and Omega go and do this."
Yeah, and he's like, "That's impossible. I can't." Like,
yeah, she's not actually on this mission, and it's like Hunter has realized that he's becoming slightly dependent on her being involved.
I found that moment, right? To be it felt like so contrived. Like, so it really didn't feel like something that was natural, and it just felt really contrived, that moment, for me.
Sure. I get that.
Sorry, you're not going to like me having espresso martinis during stream because I speak too much.
No way. No way.
I like it.
It's bloody... I'm already fantastically stoked with how much you've said about Bad Batch already. This is stokage that you're getting involved in the Bad Batch discussion.
Yeah, I found that moment as soon as we watched it. It was just like too obvious, too contrived. I didn't like it.
It was like
I like that they're realizing they want to have her along, but the way it was done was just it was cheesy, and I didn't like it. Too obvious. It wasn't like they really realized how much they need her. It was just like a deliberate moment put in there so that later she can be involved in the things.
Which also led us to the question, is Hunter writing checks his body can't cash? Because he's made 2 big promises to Omega now. Is he going to be able to fulfill both of his promises?
What are the promises? Like just for her to be safe?
No, his first promise was that she would never have to go back to Camino again.
Yeah, and then what was the one, this one, where he promised? Because I kind of remember that, and I remember thinking
that he would take her on all missions from now on if he beat her at the game.
Or if she beat him.
That's what I said. Don't mess my words up.
Yeah. And so, well, we don't know who won, though.
No, they decided not to show us that.
Right.
Potentially for that exact reason that people are already questioning Hunter's ability to fulfill his promises.
Well, I mean, I think that's like... I think that's the reality that is a good theme to bring to the storytelling of like a parent and a child. Obviously, she's not his actual child, but she clearly looks up to him as a father figure. She's never really had a father, blah, blah, blah. But I think that that's going to be an important theme for the essential character development, right? Is that like the parent and child, is that the parent wants to fulfill everything they possibly can for the child, and the child at some point in time has to realize that like, oh, my parent may or may not be heroic to me, but that does not mean that they're without fault, or maybe understanding the real world, that like you try your best and sometimes it doesn't work out, but that might not be the most important thing. Is that like you're not winning the lottery every day, you know what I mean? Like you do have to kind of muddle through and just have gratitude for the basic parts of life. And you know, whether or not they're going to strike on that theme, it seems to me like they're sort of leaning into that a little bit. Is that like the rounding out of Omega as like a real character versus Boba, who it has basically had no parenting because, you know, he's just been by himself, basically, right?
Well,
And
he had like 7 or 8 years of Django
Mhm.
being his dad and training him and stuff.
Yeah, but Django dies, and then he goes on this like wild tirade to try and kill Mace Windu, right?
What any Jedi will do, I think, in Boba's mind.
No, I mean he's like specifically gunning for Mace Windu, right?
But is like we talking about this because everyone's assuming that Boba Fett is going to come into the story at this.
I think.
Like,
I
I
think
mean, that's
so.
that's the thought. That's like, you know.
Well, they're
but
brother
is
and
that why it's-
sister, you know.
essentially.
Well, I mean, they're genetically they're test tube babies, but they're
Yeah.
essentially brother and sister. And I think
But so we're all assuming that he's
so. Well, I
going to
think
come into this series, right?
Well, I think so. At some point or something.
If we're not
but to
assuming
me,
it,
I
we're
think it would be
hoping
very interesting if you're introduced to Omega, because like Boba's been in the other, he's been in the other animated stuff, and then maybe you just, when it comes to the live action of the book of Boba, maybe Omega's full grown later in life. You know what I mean? Like maybe they
if she doesn't die at the end of Bad Batch.
Well, right, but they're making the live action book of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
right? So you could introduce a full grown, like, 35 years from now or however many years it is, because Boba is old, right? And then you could introduce Omega as an old live action actor and not spoil the whole, like, that's not Omega. You know what I mean? Like, because and you could tie that character in to the live action stuff further
So
down, right?
That is in the works though, the Boba Fett one.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
what I'm
but-
saying
Which
is
it's just
that
hope again, or it's
well, it's not. Hey, it's Disney, man. We don't know anything that they're going to do. They will just
apparently-
shoot people if they leak information. They just kill you. I think
Well, a book of Boba
you
Fett.
could be like
apparently,
you could
according to
be
the
like
internet,
Brad
has finished
Pitt and
filming.
get cast a role and then leak
Okay.
it, and they'll just eliminate you from the planet. I think that's how Disney works, right?
I think from based on what I've read on the internet, Book of Boba Fett has finished filming and is in post production now.
okay.
Right,
So you're
like
kind
a-
of thinking that they're using the stuff in the Bad Batch to set us up for even more, connection in this next series.
Well, I mean they have Fennec in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Fennec is in the live action with Boba Fett. Like
Boba
she's
Fett one?
already, yeah, we already know that from the Mandalorian. They're already teamed up in old age now. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're our age.
What part of the timeline is the Book of Boba Fett one meant to be in? Like it's after Mando timeline, where
Yeah,
it's
just
like it's
after
current with
Mando.
Mandalorian timeline. Yeah, it's
So like
how did
somewhere between 20 and 30 years our time after Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. Yeah,
okay, because like obviously they've only just teamed up towards the end of the Mando ones that we've watched, right? And like
Right.
I've been excited to see what's happening. When are they going to have the next Mando ones out? Do you know?
well, there's the Book
Um,
of Boba Fett is supposed
yeah.
to is the next one that comes out before the next season of Mandalorian. So
Yeah, I think they'll
when?
they'll finish Book of Boba Fett and probably roll straight into Mando season 3. I reckon.
Okay. When?
And
But vaguely.
my
Well, the-
theory is that
the Book of Boba
in-
Fett's supposed to come out around Christmas time this year, right?
yeah,
Okay.
23rd of Dece.
Yeah.
Right. Because like I hate waiting.
Oh, I fully agree, which is, but I mean, as far as I know, they're filming the Ahsoka Tano stuff, right?
Oh, does she have her own one coming too?
Yep. Because
Yeah,
somebody
think
was
it's-
interviewing her the other day, and they were like, "Have you started filming?" And she was like,
Like Rosario, is that who it is?
um,
Rosario
So
Dawson.
anyhow, my dog had diarrhea the other day. You know what I mean? She was literally like, I cannot tell you anything about anything that's going on right now. But her face
She went
also
all
lit up like,
politician and stuff.
I want to tell you that we've been filming, but I can't. So I'm going to talk about the dog or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. So that's going to be a season. We obviously know that Mandalorian is coming out.
Next.
They're in all sorts of talks and production and stuff. And I think it's important for, if you're going to go into this transition of the Mandalorians, right? Like, you're going to have to expand that space a little bit. Does that make sense? Like, you're going to have to make that world a little bit bigger than just Boba Fett shooting people, or Din Djarin wandering around trying to figure out like if his ship's going to blow up this week or not, because the baby Grogu is going to go away for a long time ish or something, right? A good amount of time is going to go by.
Well, my theory
Well,
is
but
that
so with the Mando, does that mean that because he's gone with Luke, that we're only going to have, like, next episode is going to be mostly focused on where Mando is, or does it mean we're going to get some episodes that have got Luke Skywalker in them?
I don't think there's going to be any episodes with Luke Skywalker. I don't think. I mean, I
agree.
To
So
me,
Grogu is kind of out for a little while. That's what we're saying.
Well, I mean, he's left with Luke, and on the timeline, Luke has the school, right? I think that's where it's at on the timeline.
Academy. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, he starts his Jedi Academy.
Yeah, so he's got the Jedi Academy. But no, wasn't Grogu like at the Jedi Academy when everybody was killed, right? When all the Padawan were killed by Anakin, right? Isn't that
you
what they
mean
were
the
saying?
Jedi Temple on Coruscant? Grogu was there, but he was rescued by someone that we don't know who rescued him yet.
So he was there for that, and then he's at Luke's school right now, right?
We can only assume that Luke is taking him to his academy to train him further.
But that whole thing goes haywire when
Ben Solo comes along.
Ben Solo kills everybody, right?
Yeah, but I'm speculating because, again, that's another 15 or 20 years further down the track.
Right. So you've got a good amount of time in there for something.
Well, for at least Grogu to have graduated and moved on.
Or at least just gone there to commune for a year or two or whatever, and got his memories back, and now he's able to do whatever.
Brush up on his skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, with regard to Boba and Fennec Shand, I in The Mandalorian, it was Boba Fett that saved Fennec Shand in the desert after that, useless tool of a Chad had tried to kill her and take Mando's prize. I don't think Boba Fett necessarily would have just saved a random person in the desert unless they had a backstory.
Right.
So I have a strange feeling that's how we're going to see Boba Fett come into the Bad Batch, is that to create Boba and Fennec Shand's backstory. Because I don't, like I say, I don't think Boba would have just saved someone that he didn't know. He would have saved someone that he's got history with.
Right. I think he does. I think he has. I mean, being a bounty hunter, I'm sure that they've definitely
crossed paths here and there.
Like, there has to be some kind of backstory there to explain why Boba Fett would do anything at this point. Like, this is after him in the Sarlacc pit, and we don't even know how he got out of there.
Yeah.
Which clearly he was very traumatized by that, because he's fat and out of shape and wandering around in some robes. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Scarred up by stomach acid.
I mean, he's had problems. He's had PTSD. He's got a situation. Maybe he's gonna start jogging now or something. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna change it, and we're gonna have the resurgent here of Boba and in the later years, But he's been through a lot, and I wouldn't think that he would stick his neck out at this point in time if there wasn't a good reason to do it. Because he doesn't seem to be doing that realistically, right? Until he runs into Mando and like wants his armor back all of a sudden. And Mando's just like, okay, here you go. And then he's like, all right, I'll chill with you and we'll go do some stuff, But then he's like, but he just has his ship. I don't know, which it seems bizarre to me this whole time. He's just been hanging out on this stupid, useless sand planet wandering around if he's had his ship this whole time. Like, what the hell? I don't know. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be, in my head, I think it would be important to have a character like Omega show up later, right? Because you want to fill in some of the Mandalorian gaps, right? With interesting Mandalorian characters that like have a reason for them to kind of be there, not just like, oh, here's another guy who's really good at fighting Jedi. Like, okay. And then here's like another girl who's like, she's wicked good at fighting Jedi because they're Mandos and that's what they do. That's one of the things that they do. They don't like those guys, So I think it would be good because you're going to obviously bring in like Sabine Wren, right?
Of course.
Or, you're going to bring in these other characters, but like, you can't just introduce them and hope that like, the you know what I mean? Like just the average viewer's like, I don't know. This is like another one of the people that wear the helmets. Okay.
Yeah, I think the like.
But if you bring in somebody that's like, this is Boba's genetic. This is Boba's sister. Like what? Boba Fett's got a sister. Oh my God. I'm a person that has a sister. I could recognize what's going on here. I live in Ohio.
What they're doing well is like with the Mandalorian and with the Bad Batch is they're introducing new characters to the canon that people give a fuck about. So all of a sudden the world cares who Grogu is and what Grogu is going to be up to. And now it's exactly the same thing with Omega. That here's this character that people are falling in love with and they want her to be part of the Star Wars universe. And yeah, like you say, there's absolutely no reason why such a great character can't show up in the book of
because
Boba
my
Fett
thought,
because
the way that I was thinking about it is like, why are we going through all of this trials and tribulation with Omega? Right? Like nerding out on my nerd end, right? Like on the nerd end, I'm like, oh, this is just great. I'm just gonna watch this, right? Oh, I'm gonna. Hey, yeah, all right, cool. I'm just gonna take what they give and do my. I'm like, okay, cool. But on my brain end, I start thinking like, why would you introduce this here where only the nerds are really watching, right? And I think that it's because you could use that storytelling in what is more widely watched, like The Mandalorian, that Boba Fett's got a sister, because the average person could relate to, oh, I've got a sister and we got some beef or whatever, or like maybe we don't get along well or what. I don't know. I don't know what the story would be, but like
minimum.
Any person out there who's just an average person watching the story can go like, sister, family. Okay, I recognize that. That's why she would be important right now. I get it.
Yeah,
all right, I get that.
Progression.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking, like In my brain space part, I'm like, okay, that's probably why this character's being so deeply like brought into the story, because you can definitely do that time warp thing, and you just have an actor play older Omega. Like no one would know because she's like what 10 right now, and a cartoon. You wouldn't really be like,
just
that's not the same
Wouldn't be-
person, you know.
not too beyond the realms of possibilities to make her a real person.
And it would be super easy to cast somebody who's like in between that like 35 to 45 range, right? Because you're like, well, how old are they really? I don't know. They're not going to talk about their age because they're in space years. It doesn't really matter, you know.
I think their biggest problem, unlike Bo-Katan, they're not going to be able to employ the voice actor to play the role of the live action character.
Right.
Because she's a Asian New Zealand girl. So unfortunately they didn't draw Omega like Fennec Shand. So, you know, they're going to either have to dub the voice or just change character. They're going to
Well,
have
that's
to
what
get
I'm saying. Like you're also
New
not
Zealand
hamstrung.
tone.
Well, that's the thing. Like you're not hamstrung to try and get the voice actor to be the same person. Because I forget who they brought. Oh yeah, because a lot of people were upset that they used a different Ahsoka, right? But Bo-Katan is the same actress, as the voice actress, and you're like, well, the voice actor that did Ahsoka Tano, right? Like she's just a voice actor. She's not like a stage actress. I think I read something about that where it was like, she's not really somebody who does that.
Not necessarily cut out for the job, and potentially looks a hell of a lot different to the character. I think she's like a tiny little blonde girl or something, but
yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what she looks like, but they were like, that's just not their specific thing that they do as far as acting goes. So it's
Ashley
like,
Epstein. I knew it had come to me sooner or later.
Right. Okay. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I don't know. I thought the episode was like really good, and I was really into it.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I was gonna text you about this, and then I kind of thought, you know what? Like I didn't want to lead too much into it, but the Loki show, I could not ask for Loki to be a better show. That's
pretty good. Yeah.
There's nothing on that show where I'm like, well, this is all effed up. You better fix this. This is dumb. And like, I'm just literally like, it's candy store. It's candy store shit. These first 3 episodes have literally just been like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, there's really no foreshadowing of like what's up next. The twists, the turns, the cinematography, the sound design, the story it's bonkers. Like it's just so good.
I've been so pleasantly surprised with that show.
Like by 1,000,000 points, man. Like they're just like, I saw that they were going to do a Loki show. That's all I knew. And then I heard that Owen Wilson was going to be in it, and I was like, oh, I better watch that because I love Owen Wilson. Like. It was literally on my list of like, yeah, I'll check it out when it's done or something. But then I heard Owen Wilson was going to be in it, and I watched the first one, and I've been smitten ever since. And it's mind-bending that it comes out on Wednesdays. Like, what? They're like, screw you. It's coming out in the middle of the week. What's up now? What are you going to do? Man, I can't even think of anything to improve in that show, and I just am literally like gobsmacked on how the hell good it is, dude. It is just so good.
Yeah, really enjoying it. I think the key to my enjoyment was that my expectations were very, very low, and they've come to the party with a really really high level program. And
Right.
yeah, it's just, I have nothing bad to say about it because I was expecting shit and I've got nothing but pots of gold from it.
It's like your buddy that says that he's gonna bring over some food to a potluck, and he brings over like a whole roast pig. You know what I mean? Like he just opens up a cooler with a, oh yeah, I slow roasted this pig for like 48 hours underground, and then I put it in this gigantic custom made cooler to bring it over here, and it'd still be hot straight out of the ground. With the even did it with even leaf wrapped it and all that. You know what I mean? And you're like, dude, I thought you were bringing over a sandwich or something, and you've brought the smorgasbord of delicious, oh my god, meat with
Yeah, well,
you. Like, this is crazy, dude.
To continue that analogy, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the guy who bought a dessert bowl size bowl of macaroni and cheese to the same party.
Yeah, he just brought some macaroni. Like, it's dry. It's not even. It's not even wet macaroni. It's just cooked macaroni in a bowl, and then it's like, well, I thought you might have some dressing or something to add to it.
I thought the host did the sauces.
I thought the host was responsible for the cheese sauce. Like, what the fuck? It's such a contrast. It's such a contrast. I don't know, man. That the Loki show, I feel like congratulations to the team that made that, because it's so brilliant. My God, man. And I don't even want to spoil it for anybody, but the unimaginable twists in the show are just like, and I have to admit, I'm literally like not expecting any of the twists that happen. Like you know what I mean? It's like we have to go search out for the other alternate universe Lokis, and they literally like show you a bunch of alternate universe Lokis, and you're like, oh, crazy. Is it going to be like a Hulk Loki or something? Like, nope, it's a blonde girl that doesn't even go by Loki because she's thrown away the identity of Loki. And you're like, the fuck is happening? And like, and then he falls in love with the female version of himself. That's episode 2, so it's not even episode 3. But like, what the what? Huh? Like, oh my God, they read into the character so much that he's a narcissist that they wrote it that he would be able the only person he would ever actually fall in love with is a female version of himself from an alternate universe that throws away the identity of themselves. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Like,
well, that's the she's like the antithesis of his narcissism,
right?
Because she hates the identity so much, and is that is that the simple thing that lures him so much to her?
Yeah,
is that she wants absolutely nothing to do with being that identity.
Right. It's just like, huh? How did you? Oh man, that is so funny. Oh my God, you got me. Oh, you got me. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
that's good.
and
Good
this
value.
the third episode is like what is going on, man? Like, what? Oh, so many twists, unexpected.
So
Oh,
good.
Jesus, it's so good. It's unbelievable.
I'm gonna have to what is it? Only 6 episodes for Loki? Is it
I don't
limited
know.
to 6?
I have no idea. I've already been on a wild ride, and there's only been 3 episodes. I don't know what to do with myself.
I'm contemplating whether I should start again and watch it again before the next one turns up. But if it's only going to be 6 episodes, I might as well wait till the end.
Oh, to rewatch?
Yeah. I'm just going to disappear for a sec. Crocodile's calling.
He's got to go pee, and Scungy's muted.
There you go.
Oh, hey. What are you drawing?
Goodness knows. I just was just drawing shit.
Ah.
So nothing interesting. I was doing like pencils, like a dough.
Aha.
and stuff. It's like phone doodles. You know.
Understandable. Have you been watching the Loki show?
I haven't ever
my
watched any
God.
Marvel stuff before, and based on your sort of rave reviews of Loki, it's made me want to watch Loki.
It's dude, oh my God, it is so good. Like it's not even anything. Both Michael and I, we both are like, what the? Don't even know like what. Like we both went into it with like, oh, this is just gonna be like a dumb Marvel show, and it's literally like somebody's magnum opus. Like it is completely unexpected.
What I want to know is, because I watched the trailer for it, and the impression I got from the trailer was that all the things that they were showing that you had to have sort of some prior knowledge of to care about, because the trailer wasn't very intriguing.
I mean, Loki is Thor's brother, and that's all that you kind of really need to know. That's basically it. Like, you just have to know that like Loki is Thor's brother, and like if you've seen any of the Marvel stuff, and you'd be like, okay, and that's basically all you needed to know. Like you didn't really need to know that much.
I think I'd also told you, Scungy, that any of the Marvel information that you needed to know, they sort of show you a bit in that first episode anyway, with a few of the flashbacks. And then apart from that, there's pretty much no other real references throughout the show to any of the other shit that goes on in the Marvel universe. What's this demon dog horse that the people are talking about?
What's that?
Did you show some art when I walked away?
Oh, I showed my doodling that I was doing. Do you want to see it? It's not anything.
That'd be nice.
It's just me scribbling while people are talking.
There's like multiple requests for seeing it again. Oh, hang on. Let me solo you.
You probably shouldn't. I don't belong on here on my own.
We'll hold it up closer to your camera.
All right. Oh, it's not anything. I just was scribbling while everyone was talking.
I think general consensus in the crowd that's watching would be that that's not anything.
Well,
very good.
Cool.
I had this strange feeling that because hang on, what have I done? No one wants to see that. That because you had no life drawing today, I had this strange feeling that you were sketching the three of us on screen together for some reason.
That would be fun. I should do that one time.
Yeah, do it now. We'll still be here for another 7 minutes.
Now? I don't know.
Jess says she'll buy it around the 15th. There you go. It's already sold.
Today's
That's
the 6th.
So cute.
I look like really evil with that background. Oh, what's that one?
Yeah, sounds like
almost looks like a proper horse, a horse with a dog's face.
It was like the dog, but really roughly.
Oh, I walked past a dog on the street yesterday afternoon that looked exactly like Billy.
Oh.
I was wondering if it was. No, actually, the one you brought down for the other people was brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, so she was the only black one. That all the others were brown in her litter.
This was a black one, looked exactly like Billy.
Yeah. Like, you know, she's a bit cute.
She's okay. She goes all
Yeah.
right.
She's
Who's
been really
Sydney
good.
Time? You know
Because I
Sydney
taught her.
Time?
Me? Do I know
Yeah.
Sydney who? I don't
Either
know.
of you, being art people. Who's
Sydney
Syme?
who?
Syme.
Sydney Time. I don't know.
What about you, Corvus? Do you know who Sydney Syme is?
What's that?
Sydney Syme. Zipgun saying Scunge's art style reminds me of the golden age of illustration artist Sydney Syme.
I don't know who Sydney Syme is. I don't know. So no, I basically just got confused.
That just sounds like me all the time.
Yeah. Huh? I like tried to like scramble around in my brain and come up with something, and it just like no. Sydney Syme. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what proper doodling looks like, I think.
I don't know if I have any doodles right here. I don't think I do.
I've got some. These were my phone calls the other day when I had to make phone calls. And they came, hang on, how does it go? Opposite to how it is, right? These were my phone doodles the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I think you know, do they measure up to my live stream doodling? Potentially not.
Not. They don't.
No.
No.
Not even close. Hi, Mum.
So yeah, we're all in love with Bad Batch, and we're loving Loki. Scungy's got to get her ass into gear and watch Loki.
Yeah, like
I
I want
bel-
to, but I want to watch it when I'm not going to feel like I want the next episode and it's not available. That's what
I thought while I was away, just before I heard you saying that now that Corvus has recommended it, that you'll watch it, that you didn't like
no.
the fact that I was only
What
recommending.
no. What I was saying was based on his speeches in prior streams, it had made me want to watch it. But then I watched the trailer and it was, I don't know if they just did a really shitty trailer for it. It just was not even slightly interesting trailer. And so I was asking about it because, I'd heard all the good stuff and then watched the trailer and was like, oh, that doesn't really look very good. So I didn't know, and I know I already mentioned to you in a message once before about whether you had to have prior knowledge, but I wanted to hear his take on it because he was the one who had sort of pushed it and made it seem like it was really cool. So, yeah, that's what it was.
G'day, Oliver. We're doing pretty well, thank you. Well, I can only speak for myself, really.
All right.
Jolliver.
Oliver.
Who's that?
All right. I've started yawning.
Well,
I've got to cut it for tonight. I'm reaching that point where I'm like, I got to get up in a few hours, and I think my body knows about it.
Conditioned.
Started spacing out and like, oh, I'm yawning. Okay.
How am I going to draw you if you go? We will have to do it next week instead.
Yeah, we will. We should start the project earlier and see what we can all draw. I'm going to draw a circle.
I like that.
I'm going to draw a circle on an old piece of paper over here.
Yeah. Apparently, a perfect circle is the hardest thing to draw. I don't know. I'm only saying that because my stepdad, like the man who raised me when I was a little, and that was, he was the person who introduced me to all the things I love, like rainforests and creeks and art and music and stuff. And that was the thing I always remember him telling me, like, you can draw everything, but like to actually be able to draw perfect shapes is like the hardest thing.
Well,
I don't
isn't
know.
there
He was a pop star in the 60s, not star. But, you know.
there's that guy
really
who has
interesting.
made a career or a life from being able to draw a perfect circle, isn't it? Doesn't he travel around everywhere and draw circles on blackboards for people?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe I'm making that up, but I'm sure there's a dude that gets around doing that. He's become famous because he's one of the only people that can just go up to a blackboard and go, "Whoa, perfect circle." You know.
Has
Thing
been
is,
created.
it might be like really difficult, but is it worth the effort to master? Because this is a circle.
It depends how much those universities are paying him, I guess, for his visits.
Spice.
Pardon me.
I guess that's true. All right, I gotta go. I gotta fall
All right,
asleep.
dude. Thanks
All
for hanging
Love
out.
you guys.
Yeah.
I will talk to you
Ditto.
soon. Okay. Bye bye.
Hi.
Wait, where's my buttons? There's buttons around here.
Careful with
Probably.
buttons. And then there were two.
Aw. I was starting my drawing. It's like really awesome, as you can tell.
I can't work out which end you started on. Is that me?
Yeah, it's you. Although it's nothing on, I never finished that drawing. Remember you were streaming one day, like on someone else's stream, and I don't know. I can't remember how it came about that it was like I was going to watch you and then draw you streaming on their stream. And I drew that kind of dragon thing. And then I never finished it.
Still plenty of time. You've got at least another 50 years on the planet to finish it.
At least. I imagine how gross it will feel in 50 years to just be alive. Probably really gross.
They'll probably invent Soma by then. The real stuff.
Well,
Anyhow,
here we are. I've lasted the distance thanks to caffeine and vodka.
I'll go on record as saying I think it was a fantastic addition to the stream. Having you a little bit socially lubricated is a benefit to us all, I feel.
Sure.
I feel that we've all enjoyed you having extra words to say and being willing to say them. I think the stream has definitely benefited from someone else's voices other than mine and Corvus's.
I find it really hard to say words.
Yeah, you did really well with them today, I thought.
Yeah, that's because alcohol.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Social solution number one.
But yeah, I don't know. It's nice. I have not had a drink really. Like I've had like one here and there this year. That's about it. This is the first time I've had like more than one.
Thanks for backing me up there, Zenny.
Oh, that's right. I'm so
That's
bad
right.
at reading
No.
the things at the same time. Oh. I have to say also, I found it really nice that having a couple of drinks, but then it just happened that, because do you remember not very long ago where I was saying I miss all of the people who were on your streams and coming on the streams, and like there's a couple of people who have like carried through, but like a lot of the whole crew is like really different to what it used to be, and I was missing all the people, and I was really looking. I asked at one time if we could try and set up a thing to do a stream with like and get all of the old people in, and so that sounds old people sound bad, but I was really excited when I saw like the Zen Ginger and Jess and stuff because you know, we all used to hang out regularly and we haven't been for a long time, and so it nicely paired with feeling a little bit, you know, tipsy, and then having those kind of people to show up and
I agree. It is wonderful when the old crew shows up again. I'm not. I still can't put my finger on why lots of the old crew have disappeared and don't turn up anymore. But you know,
I already put out my suggestion that it was because I wasn't there, and
you weren't there. I mean, that's probably not far from the truth.
But yeah, I miss all of the old crew. I wish we could all hang out again.
Yeah, we need more Bobo, more Pam, more of Ed. Where's Ed nowadays?
That's why I reckon I would really like it, just as like a social thing to do, because you probably have all of the contacts. You should like tell them all, hey, let's hang out on this day, and then do just a stream. We can, for me, do it for me so I can see all these guys, because like you might see them like in other streams and stuff in places that I don't. So
not really. I don't go to that many other streams nowadays. I just don't have that many spare minutes in my days.
Sure. But you could still maybe orchestrate it. Would be nice. I would like it, but you know, you don't have to. And maybe they won't like have the time and stuff either, be available to be able to do it. But I still like the idea.
Well, now that you've put the idea out there, I'm sure that people like Jess Shrimp Granny and Zen Ginger might also put the word out, and you know, potentially we might get some of the extra crew along.
I would like that.
There you go. Jess Shrimp Granny's already putting her head on the chopping block.
What's she saying?
She's saying message her on Instagram. She'll work it out for you.
Oh yay! I would like that so much. I miss all the people. That would be awesome, Jess.
I squeeze them in occasionally, BJ. But yeah, like I say, you know, I'm so busy watching Formula One racing and cricket and comedy and stuff that so little time left for YouTube at the end of the day, is it?
Is it?
What was the last stream other than my own that I was actually on screen on? I can't even remember. Probably Terry's Tropical Tanks, maybe. Oh, it's going good, isn't it, BJ? I mean, the last couple of races in Austria were a bit dudley. But it was good to have 3 races in a row.
The F1?
Yeah.
I didn't mind that documentary that you had on about it.
Oh, such a good show.
Like, that was quite good. I enjoyed that. But the thing is, I don't know if I care enough to be able to tell which car is which car, and they're talking. I get lost in it.
That's why they have numbers on the cars, so you can work out who it is.
Yeah, but you have to care.
I think I thank and think that documentary certainly reinvigorated my interest in F1, because I was
I'd say so, because you weren't watching F1 and then watched that documentary, and now it doesn't matter what else is happening, F1 is on.
Well, I used to watch it a fair bit before you came into my life, And but around that time as well was when Lewis Hamilton started dominating and winning all the time. And like most sports, when someone's constantly winning all the time, it sort of takes the joy out of it. You don't enjoy it as much.
Well, isn't the whole joy of it must be that like anticipation, edge of your seat, wondering what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I don't know, not being a sports person, watcher.
Yeah, you want an unpredictable result. You don't want a result that's already set in stone because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Like I said to you though, I mean, I don't watch or have interest in sports. I did enjoy watching rally cars, but like honestly, if I was like just in my own world and I would never seek it out. I wouldn't go out of my way.
Vince, fingers crossed, because I won't get you to put your controversial topic up now because I think we're about to call it quits. In fact, I know we are, but we're all about the controversial topics, Vince. Love to throw them around and sling them about and juggle them sideways. So anytime, Vince, and thanks for the sub. Absolutely no idea where my subs are at the moment. So yeah, an extra one is always nice, and I thank you for that. But yeah, by all means, swing by next week and let's get into your controversial topic. My mind boggles already. I love a bit of controversy. Jess has drunk all of her drinks. I've been going slow on mine. Oh, thanks, Zen. 7:05. Yeah, it's been hovering there for a little while. Might have to do a nude beach run or something to try and get some more subscribers because I know that's generally the catalyst for a boost in subscribers, isn't it? A fat man running naked on the beach. That's what does it.
If you come, like I'm going to do sunrise at the Cabarita headland shortly. So it's got this headland and then there's all the beach. So you should come at like sunrise and like I'll catch you running from the headland like all the way down the beach.
It'd be almost silhouettical at that hour of the day.
I think it will work nicely. I can see it.
All of it makes sense apart from the getting out of bed in time for a sunrise.
Yeah.
I think that's the
I'm
bit
gonna
that I
do
would
it.
struggle with.
Maybe I'll just do it tomorrow morning. Maybe.
Especially the fact that I would have to get up, like an hour and a bit earlier than the sunrise so I could make it in time.
Depends how much preparation you want to do, powdering your buttocks and whatnot.
You got to get that TV makeup spread evenly or it doesn't work proper.
Sure.
Paint me like one of her French girls. How many French girls have you painted?
Probably a couple. No, yeah, I would like that. But you see, here's the thing. I wanted you to pose like nudie for me. It's just that apparently you don't just want to sit around in the nude for me. So.
Well, I mean, we do when you're visiting my house, we do so much just sitting around on the bed, but it's just unfortunate that it's quite chilly at the moment. So sitting around naked on a bed isn't conducive to a good time.
Yeah, but I want you to have like no clothes and then they just like be out in the yard. The thing is, that would be nice. I mean, when I did that portrait of you, you were just like hanging around doing stuff and that's all fine. But yeah, I want you to just not be like stuck in one place, like just watching. So get a bit more dynamic view. I want that.
Righto, let's work towards it.
Okay.
And because I said let's work towards it, I think we'll end the stream here.
Okay.
Um,
I'm excited. So what do I have to do? I have to message Jess on Insta so she will organize that we can all catch up with the old crew.
Yep, I think that was the thing that she
Okay.
was angling for.
I'll do that. I will like to do that.
And I think she's probably much better in contact with people than I am, because I don't talk to anyone really.
Yeah, me neither. I talk to you.
She wants the things swinging.
Yeah.
In this weather, Shaddy, there's not a lot swinging around.
That's true.
In any weather, really. I mean, it's quite short, really.
Fairly nicely tucked into safety.
Anatomy happens for a reason. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. Extra special, massive thanks to Scunch Princess for being here for like probably 2.5 hours at least.
You can thank yourself for buying the ingredients for the espresso martinis.
I didn't buy the coffee.
That's true.
I bought the Kahlua and the vodka though.
Didn't buy the ice, but you did buy the shaker. Also, how's this? I smashed your shot glass.
Which shot glass?
The one from the other day.
You smashed it.
Mm.
Did you take it with you?
Yes.
Because I was wondering about that today. That I could remember me bringing it out and having it in my pocket and giving it to you to put somewhere safe, and then you didn't use it again anyway. But
You gave it
stole
to me to use, but I didn't use it, so I took it with me. So I was like, that's really handy. And then I went to make my drinks today, and I pulled it out of my backpack, and I did one of those things where you like grab it, but I wasn't holding it properly. So like the force of me picking it up made it fling across my house and smash on the floor. And then I realized that the top of the cocktail shaker that you gave me has actually got a little lid you can use as a shot glass, and not smashable because it's made of metal.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I smashed your shot glass.
Yeah. It's one less thing I got to worry about in the cupboard inside, isn't it?
Bye.
That never gets touched. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching, hanging out. All you humans that have been here for an exorbitant amount of time. It's nearly a 3-hour stream again. Ridiculousness. But, super respect and admiration goes out to you folks that can handle this shit for this long. And, yeah, Jolliver, you pick your game up, son. Get here earlier next time when all the good stuff happens. Because, an hour in, it starts to, we start to wane. No, we don't, do we? We pick up because we're getting drunker. And stuff. Yeah, okay, BJ, I'll accept it. Any non-humans that have been watching and listening and enjoying for the duration as well must be thanked. Well done. Any humans and non-humans watching the replay, if you're here watching a replay, Jesus, what's wrong with you? Go to your doctor now. You shouldn't be watching this kind of thing this long. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Most people are probably going to bed. I'm probably going to the shops.
Best fun for you.
Yeah, lucky there's no police in Mullumbimby on Wednesdays. I might get a DUI. What else can I do? But I don't know.
Thanks. We love you guys.
Don't even. I was going to play a song or something on the way out, but we might as well just quit it. Call it quits. I'll go and play a song on the guitar or something instead. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks again. Love yous all. And we'll see yous when we're looking at you.